The Secretary of the Interior was in the Rogue Valley today, joined by Oregon U.S. Senator Jeff Merkley. Good evening and thank you for joining us for NBC 5 News at 6. I'm Ethan McReynolds. Secretary Holland and Senator Merkley were here highlighting the administration's investments to support wildland fire preparedness across the state. Let's send it over to NBC 5's Nick Borden. He has our top story tonight at 6.
The two federal officials met with local, state, federal, and tribal leaders in Medford on Sunday to discuss investments in wildland fire preparedness and response. They were also briefed on our region's current fire conditions and expectations for the upcoming fire season.
While we may have some good news with the snowpack and some upcoming predictions for the year, I do project that we're going to have another challenging fire season. All hands on deck is the approach that we're taking, and all wildland fire agencies are working together.
Senator Jeff Merkley says there is an effort to get more boots on the ground to help prepare for fire season, with groups like the National Guard training to support firefighters when needed. Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland announced in a press conference Sunday that over $21 million in funding from President Biden's bipartisan infrastructure law is coming to help wildfire risk reduction here in Oregon, including fuel management work on over 170,000 acres this fiscal year.
The reality is that these days, of course, fire season lasts for much of the year, or like fire years instead of fire seasons anymore. I know that Oregon, unfortunately, knows this all too well. With so little room for error, we must remain steadfast in our commitment to wildland fire preparedness, mitigation, and resilience.
The $21 million in funding is in addition to the $50 million that was announced earlier this week to further enhance wildland fire management in 2023.
The funding will go towards specific mitigation and response efforts, including helping local communities across the country acquire slip-on tank units and expand remote sensing for wildfire detection, to increase federal and tribal firefighter pay, improve housing options, and expand the number of permanent firefighters.
Secretary Haaland says the funds will also support wildland management on private lands, announcing a pilot program that will support 24 fuel reduction projects in 13 states, including Oregon. Secretary Haaland says these funds will help put our fire programs on more proactive footing to not only manage fires as they happen, but to help them from taking hold in the first place.
Nick Borden reporting. The department is investing $1.5 billion over the next 5 years to increase the resilience of communities facing the threat of wildfires like here in the Rogue Valley.